Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I'm Noctary, your host. So we're coming up toward the end of the season. It's the final week of the season here. What is this? September 2018. And lots of Builder Hall 8 action. Lots and lots of folks pushing, trying to get as far as they can. Most of these replays coming as always from the 4,500 to 5,500 range. And we've got max and near max bases. And once again, y'all shared a whole bunch of replays that were 3 stars. So I put them all together, and we're going to have our third 3-play video of the last week or so, which is really awesome. So we're starting off with a little PEKKA Carts and Bomber action here from Ditya. And as usual, you start off with your bombers going in and breaking down some walls to kind of upset the pathing that was put in place with the base. This particular run uses 3 Super Pekkas and 6 cannon carts, as well as 1 camp of bombers, and just works really, really well. I usually let the Pekkas do the wall breaking, but in this case, it does make sense, especially when you're dealing with a diamond base, to use those wall breakers to disrupt the pathing. By doing that, you're able to send the Pekka straight into the heart of the base. They just keep on working their way straight through. You get that nice offensive line that sweeps down in. There's a couple little chambers, if you will, down at the bottom of the base. Really not a factor because you've got ranged weapons in the cannon carts that can shoot across the walls and take out anything that's on the other side like that. So in reality, it doesn't really slow you down as long as you come from the right angle. And I think the deployment makes the difference with a lot of these strats. I mean, would I come from the top or the bottom with, say, a shimmy? Would I come from the left or the right with a GiBoCC? That's kind of the thing you need to look at. So here we got CLO123 coming in with, I think it was a straight up GiBoCC. Yeah, this is just a straight up GiBoCC. And opening the base up a little bit more on the left hand side there, make it a little bit nicer for the padding to come straight across the middle rather than ended up going down the sides. And as the Giants work their way in, bring in a couple of cannon carts, let them do a little damage from a protected space behind the Giants. You can see this one, we've got kind of 2 points of entry and 2 vectors, if you will, going on, which is a little bit different than a lot of the GiBoCC attacks that you'll see because they form up the offensive line right away and just come straight in at the base. Why do this? Well, one of the reasons is just the layout of the base. Being a sidewinder base, it just kind of makes sense. And of course, with the bombers going in and breaking out the walls, it helps to make the flow. Eventually, you end up with your offensive line nonetheless, and you get rid of the giant cannon, down goes the Mega Tesla. There's really nothing to stop this line from continuing to move right on through, especially with all the actual defenses kind of focused there on the battle machine. So they worked their way on up to the last few buildings here, and we're going to see yet another solid 3-star from CLO123. Last couple buildings. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Battle machine, take it down, and boom. There we go. All right, 3-star from CLO. Next up, we have Infamous 913. Infamous is one of the guys over at Oz Builders, and he posts every once in a while a 3-star, lots of stuff in the 70s and the 80s and so on. So we see a lot of good stuff coming out of him. Looking at yet another GiBoCC, and you can see the way this one runs compared to the one that CLO was running. Here we got that straight line attack at the base coming right in at a side. What's the big difference? Well, we're coming from the side as opposed from one of the points of a diamond. And if you come from the side, you want to form up a straight line and just go straight in and sweep your way through the base. Once again, though, the cannon carts are going to survive. Got the battle machine doing some tanking. The giant cannon is gone, so the big threat is out of the way. And as the giant and battle machine up there at the top, well, giant's gone now, but as they work their way up and continue to take the heat from all the defenses, we end up with 4 or 5 cannon carts, and we down to just the 2. Yeah. And of course you got those bombers that are working their way through as well. Don't underestimate your bombers. We got another replay coming up here in just a second where the bombers are what actually secure the 3-star, which is kind of cool. I think that's the last one I've got. It's from, I think it was from Bob over at Oz Builders. But we're going to wrap this one up here with a little battle machine action, taking out that last army can for the 3. Moving on to the next one. This one is yours truly. It's fiddling around with a couple of different things. Decided to use GiBoCCa most of the day as I've been pushing. And it's been working pretty good for me. Coming from the side on this particular one. Could have come from the top or from the other side or whatever, but just seemed right to come from the right-hand side on this one. Trying to get that Super PEKKA to attract the attention of the giant cannon. So I wanted to give myself a little more time. And it seems to have worked, although it's kind of hard to tell because there's 2 giants right next to the Super PEKKA the whole time. And sure enough, giant cannon swings around and just goes after the giants. So as is the usual for me when I run this GiBoCCa, I never ever seem to be able to get the Super PEKKA to be the target of the giant cannon. It always goes for either the battle machine or like the boxer giants. But works out good because that Super PEKKA manages to stick around a while to do even more damage. And before you know it, I'm down to just the last few really non-defensive buildings. Yeah, there's a cannon left that's about to go down, and there's that Tesla down at the bottom, but not that big of a deal. Certainly not enough to slow this attack down. And if you've noticed, most of these attacks are right around 1:15 to 1:30 seconds long, which means that they're pretty fast 3-stars. So it's not like, you know, would say an Archman or something else where you're really taking your time and going through the base one piece at a time, picking it apart. These are going in pretty fast and heavy and knocking things down pretty doggone good. So here we come up with a GiCart, which is great on these fully enclosed bases, especially the box bases. I love to use GiCart whenever I come up against a box base. What do I always say, guys? Friends don't let friends run box bases. Anytime you got a base, it's got a big opening in the middle, in a box shape, and all of the key stuff is right there in that middle, you're running a box base. And PEKKA Carts, GiCarts, things like that, they're going to work really well. You don't need bombers, and the reason is because since the base is fully enclosed and there's no defenses on the outside, whether you use a PEKKA or you use the giants, they're going to batter their way through the wall. Same thing goes for the battle machine. Once you clear anything like, you know, camps that are on the outside, the battle machine is going to go straight into the base, work his way into the middle, and just cause massive mayhem. And that's exactly what we see in this particular case is Walker from Divergent Void just walks his way right through the base until finally we've got, you know, a couple of giants that take the heat from that last little bit of artillery there on the side in the form of the double cannon, and the cannon carts just finish everything else off. Nothing to it. We've got 1, 2, 3, is that 5 or 6 cannon carts left? Yeah, I think it's 5. So 5 cannon carts left over at the end of this attack. Unbelievable. And again, these are all, you know, near max bases, so really good, solid attacks. Last one is Bob. And Bob is going to switch all of his troops over here. Excuse me, sorry about that little itch in my throat. And we're going to go in with the Big Bart. Another one of the stronger ground attacks. Big Bart and GiBoCCa. If you can learn those two guys from the ground, you will be all set. 2 of the best ground attacks in this game for Builder Hall 8. The thing I like about this particular attack is at the end, it's actually the bombers that secure the 3-star. I mentioned this a little bit ago. So you've got the standard flood of Rage Barbarians working their way into the base. You've got Boxer Giants that are tanking and distracting. Battle Machine goes in. He's doing damage. He's tanking and distracting as well. Cannon Carts are surviving right up to the very end. And it looks like they're going to really do well. But then they just kind of fizzle out a little bit. And what you end up with is the last few cannon carts going down to a big mega mine right at the same time. Now at this point you might start to despair and say, oh no, my attack's going to end and it's going to be a 90%er. But no, not when you've got the bomb squad as the bombers work their way around and finally take out the last few buildings to secure the 3-star for Bob. So there you go, guys. Some more end of season action. I'll be back in another day or two with some additional videos. Probably not as many 3 stars this time because we're getting higher up and competition is getting really tough. Comments, questions down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I hear from you. Y'all take care. Keep on clashing. Bye-bye.